Bookcase and Coffee presents Buzzing About Romance, a quick shot of romance.
Hey everyone, welcome to a quick shot of romance. I am Becky, and joining me for this quick shot of romance is podcast contributor Heather. Hi, Heather.
Hello, Becky.
So it's summer reading challenge and vacations and all that kind of stuff. So we're down to one quick shot a week for right now through the summer months. And each time that we come to you, the book we're reading is either going to be something that the contributor picked or an author that we've been, like a new author to us that we've been dying to feature. We're going to try to get away from some of our typical reads for the summer because, you know, we do have our favorites.
Yeah, I love it. I am all for reading new authors and giving new authors some love.
Yeah. So Heather suggested this book. It is book three in a series. I read it as a standalone. I think you have read the whole series.
Actually, I went back and looked and I have missed, so there's a novella and then I missed book one, but I read book 2 and 3. So I should probably go back and read book 1.
Look at you macheting in series.
Don't tell anyone because I never do this, but
don't tell everyone except, you know,
I'm just going to announce it on a podcast
that are listening right now. Anyway, okay. So for this episode, we are reviewing The Barkeep and the Bro by AJ Truman. This is a male-male romance written by a out gay author.
Correct.
So,
and it is called, go ahead.
His cute little bio on Amazon, I just was like, adorable.
He is really the sweetest guy. I mean, he is very, very nice. And I had actually messaged him before because I wanted to be able to like take him on Instagram, and he's like, I'm not on Instagram, but he's on Facebook and he is super active in his group and he interacts with his readers, and I just really enjoy him. He just adopted a little baby with his husband, and so
adorable.
I know he's so great. So give him some love.
Okay, read us the synopsis from Goodreads.
Okay. I'm his boss. He's my daughter's ex-boyfriend. This has nope written all over it. For 25 years, I've been in an exclusive, all-consuming relationship with Stone's Throw Tavern, my family's local bar. I don't need a boyfriend. What I need is a new bartender. And what I get is Charlie, my daughter's old college boyfriend, a guy who still acts like he's chilling at the frat house. He was canned from his Wall Street job and escaped to small town Sourwood for a fresh start. He knows bupkis about bartending, but he makes up for it with his cocky charm and the tight shirts he wears, which secretly drive me wild. Now I'm making up excuses to hang by the bar during his shifts. There's a pile of reasons why I can't cross the line with an employee, especially this one. He's 25 years younger than me, and I'm a foot taller than him. Even on a purely mathematical level, this can't work. And yet, the growing heat between the frat boy and me burns like a shot of whiskey. I need to keep my beer can in my pants or else I could lose my business and my daughter. The Barkeep and the Bro will serve you up a glass of age gap, size difference, boss and play, grumpy sunshine, small town romance goodness, garnished with humor and lots of heat. And it won't even ask for your ID. This is the third book in the Single Dads Club series, and it can be read as a standalone.
So the release date for this was May 25th, 2022. He pretty much gives us all of the tropes in the synopsis: age gap, male, small town, by awakening, forbidden, opposites attract, boss, employee, and close proximity. I think this is more opposites attract than grumpy sunshine. And again, the series is the Single Dads Club number 3. And type of series is a series of standalones. Put out percentage is 38%. But really the intensity of their relationship does not kick up until 55%. So.
Right. I mean, and it didn't feel real slow burn to me. I don't know. I just, I think I read this in one sitting, and
Oh, I did too.
It is for sure a book I can see myself going back and reading again.
Yeah. I have to giggle at that synopsis though, because the tongue-in-cheekness of that synopsis is carried through the whole book. There is this lighthearted, funny, kind of mirror back on themselves, leaning into the stereotypes that we get in male romances, but it was done in such a fun, charming, and quirky way that it just is a really good book. I really enjoyed it. I was a little like, what?
Yeah.
What
I really, really liked it. So I liked The Mayor and the Mystery Man, which is the book before this. And you were like, Heather, make a decision on what book you want to read, for the love of God. And I was like, well, let me just start this. And I think I was like, I don't know, 20 pages in. And I'm like, no, we're reading this book, because it just got me like from the start. Because Charlie, oh man.
So first I want to talk about the town of Sourwood, because that sets the setting for the entire series. And just the way it starts out in the prologue with Mitch and the mayor of the town, honest to God, Sourwood is queer utopia. Like, there's just a love and acceptance across the entire town. No one is really nasty. They're all loving and accepting of each other. And I really want to live there.
Yeah, I do too, but there are some Karens, so to speak. Like they're not like, but they don't hate on like someone just because they're, gay, or that's not it. Yeah. It's they don't want like something being built there. They're like more interested around keeping their town the way it is.
Right. They do not want progress, but they don't care what you do. Just keep the town small and what they're used to.
Yeah, I mean, like you can be who you are as a person, but just I don't want your Walmart and your, you know what I like, and I'm like, yeah, I agree. I want to live there.
Yeah, I would just like to live there. Okay, so let's talk about Charlie. Heather and I have a term that we use in reference to a guy who is slightly clueless and younger. But overall, a really good guy with a good heart, right? We call them frat boy puppies.
because if you think about it, like everybody loves, like you see a frat boy and you just have to like them because they're funny. And then I think about a lab puppy and they're just so adorable and you just want to squeeze them and love them. That's how I feel about Charlie. I just love him.
Charlie is a golden retriever.
Totally 100%.
He is there to please you and make you happy and just be charming and delightful through the whole story.
And like totally like just happy-go-lucky and like is kind of always down to have some fun and tennis ball, let me go play with the tennis ball.
Yes. Totally. He's a total bro, and as his world is crashing around him because he got canned from his Wall Street job, and like in a matter of 12 hours he went from being on the top of the world, which can we just talk briefly about his daily affirmations in the mirror?
Yes, please.
You are strong. I'm just like, what?
Yep.
But they're adorable. They're adorable.
And I have a teenage son, and I can like actually picture my teenage son like, all right, we can do this, like, flexing his muscles. Like I can like picture all of this happening in real life. So I think that's funny.
It's so funny. So he is canned in a 12-hour period. He is canned from his Wall Street job. He is kicked out of his apartment that he shares with his girlfriend. His girlfriend breaks up with him, and he couch
via
surfs
text or something.
Yeah, via text. And he's couch surfing for a couple of days.
Well, and like he was sort of like the life of the party and was always out like, hanging out with his buddies, and he had this really great group of friends, and they'd go out and he'd be buying drinks and he'd do all this. And so he anticipated like when, he's thinking like my friends aren't going to like leave me high and dry because they're my friends. Well, he is wrong.
He learns very quickly that out of sight, out of mind, and that, he was easily used by these people.
Totally. But he does come across is Amos, a guy that he went to summer camp with randomly, and he's like, yeah, you can come and live with me. I have an extra, room or whatever. And he gets there, and those two become quick friends. And
yes,
Amos
and I'm gonna need the roommates. What's the roommate's name? Is it?
I think it's Amos.
Is it Omar? Anyway, the roommate.
Amos.
What is it?
It's Amos. Amos.
Yeah, Amos. We are going to need his book, so
we are getting his book.
Okay. Well, that is good confirmation because he's a school teacher and he was delightful, and he is gay and he is out, and there are some moments with Charlie that Amos really helps him refocus. And we'll get to one of those in a minute because as I was reading it,
I don't want to give it away. I don't want to give too much away, you guys.
I don't either, but I was just like, did I read that correctly? And you're like, yes. And then Amos's little one lines about it, I was dying.
Great.
So, going in the trash and
do not violate. Oh my gosh.
Try one of these next time.
Oh, So so Mitch.
Let's talk about Mitch.
Mitch is an older, I cringe when I say that because Mitch is my peer.
Well, right. So Mitch had a child at 19 and got divorced. He raised his daughter as a single dad. Mitch is the quintessential bear character in the gay community. He is a big, giant lumberjack of a man with a beard and a big chest and fur and
actually wears flannel and cuts wood.
Yeah. So he is quintessential bear gay. And that makes Charlie a cub because Charlie is short. And I think he they talk about how he shaves his chest and all his body hair off. He is very built. He spends a lot of time in the gym and he's got big giant arms and broad shoulders, but he's barely 5'6". And Mitch is something like 5'5" or 6'5".
Yeah, so. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. And I think it's Amos that says to Charlie, well, if you are bisexual, the gay community loves the Cubs. You'd be a great fit. What are you doing to your friend? That was before he started to have a realization. And I'm like, are you reading the room there a little bit, buddy?
I know we're talking about Mitch, but I love the relationship that Amos and Charlie have. They are, while they weren't lifelong friends, that's a true friendship. And I think that's Charlie realizes Amos is the same age as me and he totally has his crap together and I don't. I need to kind of get my shit together.
Yeah.
So Mitch,
back to Mitch.
Mitch had a baby at 19. He and the mom got married. They ended up divorced. So he raised this baby. He knew he was gay and he wasn't able to come out. One of the things that I loved about this is that Mitch was also a huge hockey fan. Hockey played a huge role in his bar. So he has this small town bar. For me, I can totally picture this cute little small town bar that his dad passed down to him, and it's his life.
It's everything to him. And he used the money from the barmaid to raise his daughter, and sent his daughter to college, and she is now an attorney.
Lawyer.
Yeah, out on the West Coast, right? She's out on the West Coast, I think.
She lives, I think, near New York.
Oh, okay.
Because this is in a New York, an upstate New York kind of thing.
But the little hiccup comes in that Charlie and Mitch's daughter were college girlfriends and boyfriends. And Charlie actually broke up with the daughter. And hurt her. And basically he admits that he Googled how to break up with somebody without hurting their feelings and used every cliche line. It's me. not you. We're better apart than we are together. And it totally devastated her. But she is now engaged and moving on with her life. And so that's one of the things that kind of plays a little bit in here. Imagine your dad will do without the revenge sex aspect to it. Like, it is as hot and as spicy as that book. With a little bit more plot. A little bit more plot.
A lot more plot. I love how Charlie kind of comes to realize, like, maybe I'm not so straight after all.
Yeah, he, as Mitch is trying to train Charlie to be a bartender and they're spending time together at the bar, Charlie starts to, like, think about Mitch and, question what these feelings are that he has for him. And it's not one of those things, well, I'm not gay. It's, okay, but maybe I could be. Am I attracted to him? Is this attraction? What is this? And he does some self-exploration into
That's a good way to put it.
With things that will not be named because you need to read the scene.
Let's pause. So I read this book in a day, and then I think you read it maybe a week or so later, and I get a text and I'm at work, and I was like, you're like, did this happen? Or did I read this? And I was like, yes, you actually did read that.
I'm just like, okay. But I really did enjoy the evolution of Charlie and his realization that, he could be attracted to more than just women. That sometimes, there can be that attraction to a man, and it doesn't change who he is. It doesn't change anything about him. It just, sometimes the one you desire is the one you least expect, and your dad's ex is a pretty least expecting desire.
Correct. And I think we're talking a lot about Charlie, but I think
or your ex's dad, I said. Ex's dad.
I think that Mitch learned, like, as much as Mitch probably didn't think he had a lot to learn from Charlie, I think he really did. I think that Mitch was, like, kind of in a rut and was just kind of every day was almost the same. Like, you know what I mean? And wasn't. Well,
he talks about that a couple of different times, especially because the mayor is his best friend. And they have a conversation over the bar kind of about that, about how he lives for the bar. He lives a stone's throw from the bar. And he doesn't move his life. He has nothing outside the bar other than his daughter. And even that is limited because she doesn't live in town. And it creates, I felt a little sorry for Mitch. And it was Charlie who kind of reeled him into loosening up. To kind of show that when you're with the one you're supposed to be with, things are easier. It was easier for Mitch to allow himself to have a good time and not to worry about just the bar and the day-to-day.
Yeah, and also, like, maybe think outside of the bar. Like, I think that was something, Mitch, and I mean, Charlie kind of was like, well, what about this? What about, and there was a series of events and how Charlie really just stepped up as somebody in Mitch's life a couple of times that he was like, I'll just, I'll handle it. I'll help you. We'll work together. And I think that was really kind of what Mitch was needing. Like, he has his friends, but it's different when you have someone that you can actually lean on. Like, that's real close to you.
Yeah, I agree. I also think that this story had a ton of humor and heart. Like, it was a rom-com. It was sweet and funny with a perfect balance of spice. And, but there was so much heart and it's so character-driven. It is such a character-driven story that you are just kind of overwhelmed with what great characters are in this book. It wasn't what I expected, and I loved every minute of it. And I really need to read the other books in the series.
This group of people is like somebody that I want to just invite over to my deck and like hang out and have a couple cocktails, and you will laugh all night long. They're like people you wish you knew in real life.
Yeah. Yeah. They're just really fun, sweet, nice people. And there was just so much love and acceptance. And they kind of called you out too. Because like Mitch got called out a couple of times on his bullshit and was told, dude, maybe not do that or loosen up. And I really enjoyed that about this story.
Me too.
Okay, Heather, let's get to our 3 questions. Did you like this book?
Yes. Like, I wonder if people will stop, be like, shut up, Heather, stop talking about this book and this author and this series.
I too really liked this book. It is my first time reading this author and I really enjoyed it. I liked his humor. I liked the heart in the book. And I look forward to reading more from him. Who would typically like this book?
I think if you're a fan of male romances, it's pretty low angst. There's some age gap, obviously. He has a great support system, and Charlie's building a support system. It's a great friend group, and I kind of like there was a mix of the older friend group and a younger friend group, but I felt like both of the groups of them I would love to hang out with. So I really love that.
Yeah. I think if you like rom-com and you want to try a male romance, like if you're like, hey, I haven't read a lot of those, I would like to read more of those, kind of opening up your TBR and your bookshelf, this is a great place to start. It has, it's really funny. It's not angsty. It's not over the top. It's super approachable. And I really enjoyed it. I really, and it's very character heavy. So if you like a character driven book, honestly, it reads a little like an Avery Flynn book, but male.
And I think too, it's on Kindle Unlimited. And I think that makes it download it and read it and then make sure you go to the very end, even, because you want them to get the page reads. But I think it's just a really great, I really like the book so much. I think everyone should read it.
Everyone should read this. Would you recommend this book, Heather?
Obviously, shut up already, Heather, right? Yeah, for sure. Totally.
I would recommend this book. Again, if you are looking to dip your toes into male romance and not sure where to start, and you like a lighter hearted small town friend group romance, then you absolutely should try this series, and particularly the Barkeeper and the Bro, especially if you want to know what a frat boy puppy looks like, because
okay, I'm gonna make your night. Ready? The book, Amos is getting a book, and it is called Ancient History, and it's a nerd jock. It's South Rock High School, book 1, and it is coming out end of September. So it's a series. I think, I don't know, but I think all those high school teachers are going to get their own little HEA, which I'm here for.
Amazing. Okay, so tell everyone how you found AJ Truman as an author, because we didn't give any time to this, but you kind of found him as an author through a little bit of a trip.
Yeah, so I am a big fan of Riley Hart, who often writes male romance, and I'm on her email list, and she will send out in our own voices. So she sends out emails with authors that write in the LGBTQ community, and she's always like, okay, this book here, this is an author I really like, and then there's a little bit of a bio and then a link to their book. And so I have found a lot of authors through her, and I just think I love how it's not like a selfish, she's like promoting other people, and I really love that. And I'm so glad that I found AJ Truman, because I love his books, and I think he's just a really great person, and I just like to support him.
For sure. It was a great read, and I love when authors build up other authors. It's just makes it all the much better. So if you haven't checked out Riley Hart, you absolutely should also check out her books. Heather, thank you for joining me for this quick shot of romance.
Anytime. I'm always happy to talk books with you.
I know. Until next time, everyone, happy reading.
Find us on Instagram at Buzzing About Romance or on Twitter at Buzzing Romance. If you like the podcast, please leave a review. If you'd like to support us directly, join the Bookcase and Coffee Patreon and receive exclusive content only available to Patreon members. Check out bookcaseandcoffee.com for our on-the-shelf show notes.